What's up, everyone, and welcome to the season one finale of our
Woo!
Rebels reaction series. As you know, this is my first time seeing Rebels. This is Evan's eighth or ninth
No, no, no,
time,
no. Whoa, 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 whoa. Like third, or
but he hasn't seen it in a while. So we're both going to react together. Evan's going to react to my reactions,
I like
and you
doing that.
guys are going to react to us all. And we're all going to react in a nice little reaction
Yeah.
family. Today, more than ever, because it is the finale. We're both super hyped. I've been waiting months for this, week after week.
Yeah,
But
definitely did
season one,
just finish
episode
the last one.
15, Fire Across the Galaxy. Now, I'm not quite sure what that's referencing. But they did
Oh.
say Mustafar last episode. So we're gonna hop right in and enjoy.
Let's do it. Lots of ties.
Is that her spray paint?
Yeah.
Yep, you definitely missed me.
Oh, I get it.
I think that was a reference, the artist, because she like obviously paints stuff. But there was a short. Rebels had these series of shorts that aired before the show, and there was one where like Sabine painted all over a TIE fighter, like in this area, I think. So that might be a reference to that, or the fact that she just paints all over stuff.
Interesting. I had no idea those existed.
I didn't either until like I finished the show, and I was like, oh, okay. That might be where the like familiarity. Oh,
How did that guy not hit her?
But I got a lot better.
look at that! Look at that!
Oh,
That's
that's pretty
dope.
cool. But all right, I formulated what I was gonna ask. Is that the same one from Bo-Katan?
That
Her
might.
episode
That
Mandalorian?
might be.
There is one left, but it's not
Do we remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's going on. Tie we stole a while back. We
Remember
Call
that
back. I remember
episode?
that episode. Yeah.
We didn't exactly
By
crash it.
didn't exactly. You mean we didn't crash it? We kept it.
You all knew about this? I should be angry.
There's a slight.
Oh man.
What kind of problem?
Oh, she spray painted or something? Definitely.
What?
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. I mean, all things
That looks.
considered.
I would love to have a TIE fighter like
Yeah.
that.
Or out.
I'm in.
Mm.
I'm in.
Time to
Chopper
fix
goes, I'm out.
it.
Bye
Rolls away.
bye. Oh my God! Every
Still
time,
getting
they're still
shot.
gone with it.
He really doesn't know though, right? Is that
I'm
what
pretty-
Harris said?
I'm pretty sure, because they really haven't had contact with any other like cells of rebels.
Yeah.
Ooh, we know how he survived Order 66.
Master Balaba,
Do you remember her last word to you?
run, Kanan.
That's kind of a benefit
Oh.
of watching everything right in order, because we've seen that exact scene in the Bad Batch.
I know exactly
which,
what happened.
Yeah, which technically is a callback to this, but for you, really, that's set up for this.
Yep.
Ezra?
Funny how watching it both ways has benefits.
Yeah. Dang, bro.
Hmm. You can feel it.
He's there.
Wow.
He's alive.
Sending codes.
Let's go. It's freaking yellow and orange.
Looks so out of place.
Oh my god.
That's not regulation. I kind of like it.
I kind of like it.
Oh, brother.
Mm-mm. That might be the same type of ship. I'm pretty sure that one also was in here first at one point,
Shouldn't take long.
before Mandalorian. But both of the light cruiser also.
Dang.
Look, he burned his hand when he touched the.
These guys will wake up soon.
Nice attention to detail.
They're not dead, everyone. They're just knocked out.
Guys, not dead. Don't worry.
I've been sending an all-clear message to the rest of the fleet. As soon as we miss an interval, they send reinforcements. And that interval is up now.
Dang, that's like a smart thing to do. It's almost
Yeah.
like this guy's smart.
It's almost like he's like a grand moff.
Oh, he could
not
almost
even
be a
just
governor
regular.
too.
Almost. I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
I'd vote for him. You know what?
Yeah.
He's like a cool guy.
Vote
Well
Tarkin.
spoken. Ooh, they got shoulder pads this time.
Yeah.
Pretty clever, kid. So what's next?
Kanan is
Does that lock the door?
I just cut off our only way to get to him.
Probably, because, you know, it's all fused.
Not yours.
It's gonna be a very complicated mechanism for them to slide together that way, so probably
I
mess with
guess.
some wires, or just like the fact that it's all burnt through, make the edges can't go together because like there's burns.
Who's that?
Who is this?
Oh, I guess we're never gonna find
I guess
out.
we don't know that secret.
The Inquisitor's definitely gonna be in the room with him. Like, that's not even a question.
Turns out you did pretty well.
You shouldn't have come here.
Oh,
You would have done
maybe not.
In fact, you have.
Oh.
Ooh.
God. Inquisitors are so cool looking.
Whoa, mama.
Whoa, mama.
Yeah, no.
Oh, look, he did not see that coming.
Plot twist.
Yeah. It does have its benefits, even if it is so uncivilized.
So uncivilized.
This guy can use them both at the same time?
Who would have ever thought?
Oof. Leaping over the head like that. Regardless of what you say about the width, the lightsaber fights are still really cool.
I don't mind them.
Yeah.
Like, when it's the
Really only when
Inquisitor
they're
and
like
King.
static. Once they're moving
Yeah.
around, you know, it's really not even that big a deal. Oof. Hits the ground. Oh, the
Yeah, this
kicks!
guy's beast mode
Into the
right
stomach,
now.
you see that? He like walked up him. Oh.
Ezra died. Yes, yes.
Very
Use
good.
your anger. Let it fuel
He's
you.
doing the opposite of that. He went. Oh.
Let's go.
Because I have nothing left to fear.
I have nothing left to fear. That's awesome.
One thermal detonator. Oh, it's just a smoke screen. It's not even.
But a Bayside. Huh, they're your masterpieces. That's got nothing to do with it. Ezra, we're
She wants to save that TIE
I hope-
fighter.
Yeah, I hope they do recover it.
Psych! Nobody
They're
saw
like-
this coming. Look at his face, though. Look at that scar. Look at that.
Kanan was like, I have nothing left to fear. So, like, he thinks he's dead,
Yeah,
right?
he thinks he's dead.
But he's just chilling on a little ledge right there, like.
Yeah, but Kanan was all the way on the other side when he fell.
I guess, yeah.
Look at him go.
Hmm.
See that quick motions like that? You just can't do that in live action. Oh, he's got the spinny blade.
Let me show you how strong it is.
Boom!
Dang.
Oh,
I thought lightsabers turned off when you drop them.
could be because these are like very different, and you kind of can't really hold the button if it's spinning like that.
Stomp on his fingers. Stomp on his fingers.
There are some things far more frightening than death.
What? He didn't even stop.
Yes, sir.
I thought I lost you.
Wow.
I know the feeling. Let's go home.
Yeah, sooner rather than later. Oh,
He said that so like calmly. Let's go home. Then the whole thing is exploding like next to him. It's the last tie in, and they're like passing all the ties
Yeah.
just to get that one.
I mean, I would want to save that tie too. It looks dope.
Oh, absolutely.
The Inquisitor's time.
Well, we know he's not gonna
Ooh.
use it.
You know what, kid? You worry me sometimes.
Yeah, it's
You
kind of
worry
dark.
me
Dude
sometimes.
just dies. Like, well, he's not using the tie, I guess.
I
But
know.
look at that thing fall. I love when they kind of fall like that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, is it in the atmosphere? 'Cause
I
they
assume
lost
it's just
all
like
power.
they're just so massive that like the gravity of like the planets or moons below just like sucks it down.
Yeah,
We got
I like the
How many?
Inquisitor's tie.
Yeah, so with the curved wings there.
Yeah.
Really nice. There's so many ties.
Oh
Oh, my
my
god, there's so many
goodness.
ties. Look at that thing. Ah.
Wow.
Ooh. There he is.
Da, 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 da.
With some help. Look at that.
With Fulcrum?
I think they're on our side.
See,
Yeah,
Kanan
I
didn't even
think so.
know. Like fully.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's
Harris
awesome.
said he doesn't know.
I forget how awesome the space battles are sometimes.
I'm a sucker for dogfights.
Look at that.
Boom.
Ah,
Who's that? Oh, Tarkin.
Yeah. He's pissed.
No, he's like, that's not good. I gotta go answer to Darth Vader
Yeah,
over
right.
that. Oh,
Wholesome.
What you did was rash and reckless.
You're welcome, dear.
let's go.
If Chopper was in this transport ship, then who was flying the ghost?
There's no one in that pilot seat,
Well, they don't need to be in the seat now.
dude.
Hello, my friend.
Oh,
Understand.
Bail Organa.
Members of other rebel cells.
Other rebel cells.
We're a cell? Wait, did you know we were a cell?
We're a cell.
No.
That was the protocol. The protocol has changed.
Oh,
Fulcrum.
I was not expecting this at all.
Ahsoka.
Is Ahsoka Tano.
Let's go.
Let's
Because
go.
of you
Oh,
and your
man.
apprentice, many in this system
Ashley
are
Eckstein. Oh, did they not peep her lightsabers though?
She sounds all old and like stoic.
Oh, well there, okay. Now I get it. That was the one thing I was confused about. Okay.
Ah, he looks dope.
Let's go.
And an echo into the.
They end it there.
Yeah. Doesn't even speak a word. Steals the show.
Doesn't need to. Holy
Ah.
moly.
Really awesome episode. I just like how it all comes together in the end. They realize that there's more rebels out there, so they're not just alone trying to fight this huge empire by themselves. The Fulcrum reveal, even though everybody already knew
Oh
that.
man, crazy.
Yeah, but and also Senator Bail Organa making another appearance. That's one thing I wanted to say is that a lot of people online who haven't watched Rebels and they want to just watch through it quick are like, skip all the, give me a list without all the filler episodes so that I'll understand. Just give me the necessary ones. And you can do that, sure, but if you think about it, we know the tie from the other episode where Ezra and Zeb steal the tie and they hide it out. That ends up being a part of the story. And we also met Bail Organa for the first time in that other episode. I think it was the one with R2 and C-3PO. And that was kind of set up for him, kind of getting them into this larger rebellion. Kanan even said, "We met you one time. What's going on here?"
Yeah.
So a lot of the filler episodes have elements to them that end up being important later on, which is why a lot of people online are like, you can skip them, but just don't, because there's stuff in there that helps you later on, which is pretty cool. Because if you wanted, you could just have it completely filler and not even setting up anything else. But there's two examples already of two so quote unquote filler episodes that had plot points that you kind of needed to understand for this episode. Not needed, but it definitely helped.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like, if you want to know the story of a show, like, you can't skip parts. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's filler, it still fleshes out the characters and everything. So, like, in my opinion, it's either just watch it or don't. Like, it's, I don't know. Trying to pick and choose, it's like cherry picking. You don't get the whole variety that way.
Yeah, you don't get the whole story there.
Mm-hmm.
But as finales go, I really enjoyed this one. The lightsaber duel with Kanan and the Grand Inquisitor is awesome every time. Just them like flipping over each other, and the one part where the Inquisitor like walks up Kanan and flips around. Like I said, I don't mind the when they're like moving and in action. The thin blades don't really bother me. They're only really a big deal when it's like static and just holding it kind of. But when they're like moving them around, they get wider anyway, and they're waving around, so it's not even really that big of a deal, and it still looks really cool. I thought it was one of the better scenes is when Kanan's like, well, Ezra's dead, and like he's like, okay, I have nothing else to lose, so now I don't have anything to fear, because the whole time he's like, oh, what if he gets Ezra? What if I fail Ezra? What if he dies? That already happens in his head, so he's like, well, there goes that. Now I can just go ham on this dude. And he does. He takes both lightsabers. He starts just slashing at him, shooting him with the blaster lightsaber. So I thought it was a great scene. Because it very easily, like you said, you were, kind of jokingly like, yeah, use your anger or whatever. He could have very easily kind of saw it that way, but he saw it more as like kind of a more traditional Jedi sort of sense, where it's like, well, I don't have that to worry about anymore, so I can just put all my attention onto you. And that was really cool. The Inquisitor ended up, I forget exactly what he said. There are things far worse than death, and then he just boom,
Yeah,
leaps off.
that's insane.
Great death
I have no
scene.
doubts that Darth Vader would have killed him if he didn't do that.
Yeah, that's probably why he
So
said
that's
that.
crazy. I was not expecting that. Like, I said stop it on his fingers. Because jokingly, I thought they would never show that in like the Rebels type show, which is even more so than Clone Wars, marketed towards kids.
Yeah.
Like that's like he fell in a fiery death. Like that's
Yeah,
wow.
he blew up.
That's like dang. But
Yeah,
no, that was cool. His little line before that's cool. But if he really is dead, I'm kind of like dang, no more Grand Inquisitor.
yeah, that is a big thing. People
But
are
who
upset
knows?
that he doesn't, like he doesn't have more to do.
Okay.
Um, but he
Yeah.
is the Grand Inquisitor, not the only Inquisitor. And we do see some more later on. Tarkin had like just from looking at Tarkin's face a lot of the time, he's actually mad now. He's like, okay, these guys are not a joke. They clowned me and my whole squad, and now I'm pissed. And then Vader's coming up now, and he's like, I got my best guy on this job, and you can't handle like 5 rebels? Are you kidding me? My Grand Inquisitor and my Grand Moff? And you can tell from that he's probably not very not very happy. Like you said, the Grand Inquisitor probably knew that Vader would like punish him or something along those lines for failing this mission
Absolutely.
or whatever. So he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna die. Vader he was in the first episode. It was like the sort of beginning scene, if you remember. The very first part of the show we got was Vader speaking about like the rebels or Lothal or something, and that was it. But now we know that he's here. He's
He's in. Yeah.
supposedly he will be a part of the series moving ahead.
I will say I don't know how I feel about his design.
Vader's design.
It's just I feel that Vader, yeah, I feel he's so iconic. And then it's not like his face, it's his helmet. So like it's like I think squished and point. I know it's from like the art that it's based off
Yeah.
of, but like when I see like for Ahsoka for example, it's just her face in a different art style. So I'm like, okay, whatever. That's just how they draw faces here. But when it's a helmet, it's just I don't know. The changes are more noticeable to me, and I'm kind of nitpicking, but it's like I was like, don't know how I feel
could see
about it.
that. It helps if you actually like the design, and again, that's personal preference. But even if I didn't, kind of the Macquarie, roots of the whole show, that kind of puts my mind at ease, because like at least I know they're actually paying homage to something, and it wasn't just like a
Yeah.
crazy wacky random. Just let's just make it look like that. But the whole show is in the style of the Ralph McQuarrie art, which I think looks really cool. A lot of people say it doesn't translate as well into like 3D, which parts of I can agree with. In some cases, it looks much better as just like a 2D drawing. Like the lightsabers, they kind of look a lot. I think they look better not in motion, like on a 2D drawing, but in 3D, it translates kind of weird. But I actually don't mind the design. Just because I personally prefer it. Not prefer it, obviously, but I like it. And the fact that they're actually inspired by something, and it's Macquarie-esque. But it depends person to person. With the exit there, usually they got Star Wars Rebels, the logo, and they play the music. This time we just get Vader's breathing, and it's just echoing. Really awesome way to end it out. He didn't even say a word. Comes in, steals the end of the episode without
Doesn't
saying
have to,
anything.
yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
how they got the red lenses on there, because that changes
Yeah,
on
the
like some
amber
are like
eyes.
really, really barely red. Some of them you can really tell. Sometimes in some of the movies it's just black. So that's really awesome. But I want to know what you thought about Ahsoka. We see her a little bit
Just
design
about to
wise,
say,
but
yeah.
I wondered what you think about seeing her. I mean, obviously you knew
Yeah.
Fulcrum was her already.
I-
It just kind of got spoiled.
I was gonna say,
But you can
that's
talk
one
about
of the things. That's one of the things I did know about Rebels. I know all about Ahsoka. There are bits and parts of her storyline that I don't know, but I know about her. I have seen her and Darth Vader that fight, so I know that happens. But again, I said it briefly before. I think she looks good in the Rebels art style. She looks cool. Her I forget what it's called. What are her tails called?
Is it Leiku?
Um, there's
Or is
yeah,
that
it's
is that Twi'leks?
I anyway, her
Her
tails or
tails.
horns or whatever. They're longer now,
Yeah.
and taller. I actually prefer the way she looks here than to Mandalorian, where they're much shorter.
Me too.
That was my one flaw, or I guess critique with Mandalorian. I think they should be large like they are here. Because Shakti as well has those
Oh
nice
yeah, they're
long ones,
just
and
so
they're
long.
supposed to like that's what happens with age. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't want to talk about Mandalorian. She looks really good
Yeah,
here. I
definitely.
have seen this design before, so it's nothing new to me. That's why maybe I didn't react so much, and I was kind of like, "Oh, Fulcrum, who could that be?"
Yeah.
But I know all about Fulcrum. I think that was in the Mandalorian, right? It might have been in like Clone Wars too,
What?
where the Fulcrum nickname. I know it started here, but like season 7, I feel like they said it, and
I
I know for sure in
thought
Mandalorian they said it too, right?
I do know where it started, but I just cannot for the life of me remember.
It was Anakin's password. But I think in season
And
7,
like
she's
it,
like, "Oh,
yeah.
use
Well,
Fulcrum." It was
yeah,
Anakin's
yeah,
password. So
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
that, like, so I know when like Fulcrum is no surprise, even when they're showing.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of psyched. This is like one of the things I've been most looking forward to about Rebels is Ahsoka, which is, might some people might disagree, but I
Screw
can't wait
them.
to see more of her and stuff.
Ahsoka's best
Because
girl.
yeah, she's a top tier character.
Yeah.
So now that she's like more like she's in the
Yes.
show now, I can't wait.
One thing that's cool in Clone Wars is as she ages and as she, gets like new designs, the head tails get a little bit longer. She starts Padawan, they're like
Yeah,
super short, and then by like the season 3 look, when she's got the two lightsabers, they're like kind of down to here. Season 7, they're like down to here, and then they just, they get longer as you age,
yeah,
which is awesome. One thing that I think is really cool is that her voice is actually different. Ashley Eckstein, of course,
yeah.
is the
Forgot to
same
mention.
voice actress, but she plays it differently. She plays a much more older and more to wise and less sort of naive kid version of Ahsoka. Like,
Matured.
yeah, her voice is like lower and calmer, and she's more like, "Hey, how are you today, Ezra?" Instead of like, and it's very different. You can really listen if you listen to it. It sounds really different, and it makes sense too because being her and being who she is, think as she ages, she would get more wise and sort of her voice would kind of turn into that sort of Jedi voice that we know and that we've heard before with a lot of other Jedi. Because comparing clips of her, like, it's like, but Master, I don't want to do that, and like, but then you go to this, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah,
But
yeah. No, I actually meant to bring that up. I me and Evan both love Ashley Eckstein. We talked about it way back when Rosario
our
Dawson
very
was
first video,
announced.
don't watch it, it's bad.
We thought she should have played Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, and for the reasons of exactly here, we see her doing the voice where she is more matured, she is older, and she's right around the age that Ahsoka's supposed to be in Mandalorian. So,
Yeah.
nonetheless, just in Rebels here, this finale I really liked, loved seeing her, and Darth Vader, Grand Inquisitor. It was a very nice
Yeah.
finale, we'll say.
What do you think about? I wanted to hear your thoughts about how they're treating the rebellion here, because in this, instead of just there is the rebellion, in this case there's smaller. They call them cells. There's little bunches of rebellions starting all over the place, and I guess the idea here is that they're slowly trying to bring them together because you have like this group here with Fulcrum. And also Bail Organa. Then you have obviously the Ghost Crew here, who were not even a part of it; they were just their own little group. Slowly, bringing them together. How do you feel about how they're treating the whole rebellion so far?
This is like one of my favorite things to see. Like honestly, I'm gonna go on a tiny bit of tangent here, but
Go for it.
seeing this rebellion form like this, because to me, Bail Organa is like our rebellion, right? This is the original trilogy, Luke Skywalker rebellion, right?
Yo.
Then you have people like the Ghost Crew, like Saul Guerrera,
Oh yeah.
like Jyn Erso, all these other people who
Now
are forming
Ahsoka.
their own little cells. And you see, especially in Rogue One, Saul Guerrera, you see cells that don't fit in with Bail Organa's rebellion, like the good face of the rebellion.
Yeah.
Because these people are literally criminals. They're literally terrorists in the government of the universe. It is a tyrannical one. They are bad people. So you can have bad people who are bad people,
Yeah.
criminals who are criminals. That's Saul Guerrero. I'm not saying Saul Guerrero is a criminal, but he does more extreme things.
Yeah.
So when they're slowly patching it together, when Ahsoka's coming and Bail Organa, and they kind of identify the Ghost Crew as, oh, these are like we kind of want them on our side. They
Right.
provide hope. They provide what was it? A vision of hope.
Oh,
but
guess
but
you
with
could
that
say a
with the
vision of hope.
with the announcement that Ezra made, I'm sure that's what made Bail Organa and Ahsoka, if they weren't already, to say no, these are the guys we want leading
Right.
the rebellion. Because the only way to win over an evil, tyrannical empire is with good people and like the light
Yeah.
side.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and yeah, just seeing this patch together, I'm glad you brought that up because I don't even think I would have brought it up. It's really cool, and I want to see more of it. I think isn't there supposed to be another spin-off show like way down the line? They announced this
Kind
like
of. There was that was like rumored. But at this point, I'm like 90% sure that the Ahsoka show will be a continuation of this of the
okay,
plot line that happens. That was one of the big reasons I also wanted you to see this because I'm pretty sure Ahsoka is picking up where Rebels left off. Not like the whole story, but like one specific part of the story kind of continues. I don't know, we don't know for sure, but I'm pretty certain that that's what Ahsoka is going to be.
okay, okay. That makes because for me at least, it's like the Jedi of the prequels and the Rebellion faction wise, they're like right there. Like my two favorite groups of like to watch and experience
Yeah.
in Star Wars. So
Yeah.
seeing them do it justice is awesome to
Yeah.
me. I really like it.
They talk a lot about hope, and you think eventually you're like, okay, this is kind of a little corny. I'm sick of the hopeness, but then when you watch them, like when you watch the whole crew fly in like that, when you see the ghosts, it's like, whoa, what has happened? And there's like ship after ship
Yeah.
after ship of these rebels. You kind of feel that hope. You're like, oh yeah, I get down with that. So,
Yeah.
it just makes you feel good, which is probably another reason why a lot of people like the rebellion because it's just something that
Yeah.
makes you feel good. So that's it for that episode. I don't think we'll make individual videos for like the season, so we're gonna make this one a little bit longer and just talk about the season, overall. I'm gonna ask Paul first because he's obviously the newbie here. But what do you think about season 1, just overall in general?
I will say I came into Rebels with a bit of bias. I thought I would be dredging through a couple of childish episodes, and I would get to see every once in a while a cool Ahsoka show episode. I was wrong. I've heard it from you. I've heard it from most people online and other of my friends that season one is supposed to be like one of the not. I guess you could call it worse, but just not
Yeah,
the best.
that doesn't mean bad. It's just
That's exactly what I mean. I don't want to say worse because I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
This is very cool. We saw C-3PO, we saw R2-D2, Lando, Grand Inquisitor, we saw Tarkin, Vader, Ahsoka. I'm loving it. And then I get to see all the Ghost Crew work together and build their team up. Ezra has had a ton of development. This has been really cool, which makes me even more excited to watch the next three. Because if they're better than this, I'm definitely going to enjoy them. This is awesome.
I would say they are better.
I had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple episodes in there that you could kind of do without, but that's not even to say that they're bad. They're just ones that weren't necessarily super memorable. They were kind of forgettable, but like while you're watching it, you're still gonna have a good time. And like I said earlier, a lot of the episodes end up calling. Well, I guess episodes call back to those filler episodes, like we said with the tie, and with the other thing that just happened that I forgot about. But I said it earlier. It was the TIE fighter from one episode that they kept it.
Oh, I'm blanking too.
And Bail. It was Bail Organa with the droids.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's some I guess in terms of standout episodes, we'd have the first two in the beginning of the season was great. Start jumping off point, introduction to the characters. Seeing Kanan, reveal that he's a Jedi. All that stuff was awesome. Mm-hmm. The episode with Lando that we just watched was pretty good. I know that's
really
one of your
like
favorites.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the whole 3-part sort of finale. It's not really the one episode is a finale, but the 3 episodes are kind of bunched together as one sort of story. So those, there's definitely a lot of there's a couple episodes in there we're probably not thinking of right now. It's been a while. It's been a long time since we watched those. And we've had a lot of stuff happen in between that, like the whole Bad Batch shows. So not exactly right on the top of my head right now. But there's definitely a couple other in there that we'd say at the sort of the top level of the season, and there's a lot of highlights. I think I might know, but if you want to say, what do you think was your favorite episode, or just a couple?
I mean, I really did like this last 3 parts. But for every reason, it's that Lando episode that I keep going back to. I guess I'm just a sucker for Billy D. Williams.
How can you not?
Who? Fun fact: his full name is William December Williams.
Yes, we actually looked that up after.
We found that out,
and we were like, "Whoa,
that's awesome!" It just makes you like him more.
Yeah.
But more than if I had to pick a least favorite one, I think I would have a harder time doing that. Which speaks to the quality of Rebels, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So, if you're someone like I was, who's like, I don't really want to watch it because you heard the childish rumors, completely changed my mind just in the first season. So, yeah.
I mean, and that stuff is going to be there just because of the demographic. Like, you're gonna have dedicated shots of showing that stormtroopers are like, oh, my back, my shoulder, I'm not dead. You're gonna have that. You just have to because of the studio demands and all that. Mm-hmm. They're a lot simpler to understand. Like you trust your friends or always have hope, and then Clone Wars is like slavery is bad, and also don't trust everyone, but you can also love people, but this person's gonna die. It's obviously a lot simpler and a lot more dulled down, but that doesn't mean there's nothing of substance there. There's actual themes, and there's characters and they have their moments together. One of my favorite parts about season 1 is seeing early on, Kanan and Ezra kind of being like a rocky pairing. They're not smooth yet. They're not okay, you're going to learn this lesson today. We're going to do this. Because like we said before, Kanan is still learning alongside Ezra. And even Kanan said that.
Yep.
It's a very interesting dynamic between the two of them because it's not really something we've had that much of before. You have somebody who is skilled in the Force and training to be a Jedi, but you also have their master is not even really a full Jedi yet because they never really finished their training. One thing I actually noticed or was thinking about earlier when you were talking about seeing Bail and seeing Ahsoka and all the blah 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 and all the cameos. We just finished a show that had a lot of cameos in the Bad Batch. A lot of characters showing up. One thing I think this show has done better than the Bad Batch, even in season 1, is making you care about the main cast. This is one of the biggest issues with the Bad Batch finale, or not finale, the whole season. I'm pretty sure by the point you're watching this episode, that video's out. We actually we haven't even made it yet. But our season 1 Bad Batch review, you can check that out. One of the biggest problems is the lack of development for the core group of characters. A lot of people's highlights of that show were the cameos and the guest appearances and stuff like that. That was their peak, and then down here it's oh yeah, one record did something. And I still do think Bad Batch season 1 is probably a little bit better than Rebels season 1. But that's something that this show has definitely done better, is making you care about the main cast. You were talking earlier about the cameos, and it hit me when you also mentioned the Ghost Crew, because a lot of people would just disregard them and say, oh, this cameo, this person that showed up, Ahsoka. But also the main characters, you actually care about what's going on there.
Yeah.
And I think they've been doing a really good job of that, because each Ghost Crew members kind of had they have had separate pairings, different groupings of 2 or 3 or more, which is really cool. But I want to hear your thoughts on just the Ghost Crew and not each, but if you want to talk about the members and what you think about them so far.
Before watching Rebels, I think I knew Ezra's name, and I saw pictures of the rest, but I knew nothing about them, right? So I don't want to say I'm coming in blind, but I'm coming in with very little feelings or attachments to any of them.
Yeah.
And then you flash forward through a season, 15 episodes, which is one less than the Bad Batch. And I have more connections. There's more depth that I have with Zeb than Tech. That's crazy, because I've known the Bad Batch since the Clone Wars. And then they have their whole dedicated show to them. And like you said, not a lot of development. There was a lot with Omega. There's a lot with Hunter, and they're good. But this feels like a show that's about their main characters.
Yeah.
Bad Batch, you could argue, kind of. They are the main characters, but it's not there to serve them. Like
Right,
this show is
right.
about them. Even when Lando comes in and he tries to pull the group apart or whatever, it still makes the group closer together, and it's still about the Ghost Crew, and they still learn from it. So it's like I don't like. We'll get into the review of Bad Batch, but I think competing wise, just in like development, like I think this is right up
Oh,
there
yeah,
with Bad
definitely.
Batch, which is a
Probably
lot of
better.
people are like
Probably
Bad
better.
Batch and Rebels, yeah, but honestly, yeah, like, and you might say, oh, because it's a kid show, they're supposed to do that, they're supposed to shove development into it, but like no, it most of the time it came in a natural way, and just a couple like some of the themes might have came on heavy, but it made sense for the story, and
Yeah.
I would take coming on a little heavy as opposed to Tech making one-liners every
doing
three
nothing.
episodes, and that's it.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, I honestly, which is just, I don't think I would ever thought of myself saying this, but yeah, I almost enjoyed the group of the Ghost more than the Bad Batch.
yeah. I
Which
think
is
I think
weird to say.
overall, like as seasons, Bad Batch season 1 is definitely the better season of animated
Yeah,
television. But in terms of character development of the core group of
and like
characters,
growth.
yeah,
Yep.
Rebels has definitely done a good job there. Even if it's pretty obvious at some points, pretty heavy-handed, just like, oh, Ezra learned to not be selfish or something.
Yeah.
That, that's still development, and it's makes them grow and they change, which is a lot more than you could say for some of our Bad Batch friends. Just the tech,
Unfortunately, so.
just does
Uh,
absolutely nothing.
yeah.
I was something else I was about to say, and it completely just flew right out of my brain.
You were gonna do an Imperial probe droid impressions again.
Oh, I had it.
I was saying just for filler, going off probe droids, all the sounds and the music
Oh, yes.
and all the original trilogy stuff, top tier. I am just I don't know, it hits me in a different spot. It's just wow,
That's
gotta
just
love it, gotta
Lucasfilm.
love it.
You don't even have to compare
Right
Bad Batch
down
and Rebels. Like that's just overall. Lucasfilm just
overall.
always kills it.
Yeah, and like again, I think it says Y7 on the rating. Like this is designed for kids, and they still nail it. Like they don't even have to, and they still
Yeah.
nail it. So that's awesome. Like from the blaster fire to the probe droids to Darth Vader's breathing, like it's top tier.
It's just
Awesome.
fun, you know.
Yes.
I do remember I was gonna say when we were talking about the characters, you can already tell like from what we've seen so far that they're a really close knit group. You know, Kanan and Hera are sort of romantically kind of involved, even though they don't explicitly say it. But like the two of them are kind of, they're like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You know, she calls him dear, and they hug and whatever. Even though they're kind of trying to, they got that like on hold because they're this rebellion, obviously. But like the groups that like Ezra and Zeb start to like grow a specific bond that's special to them, where they're shoving each other and they play fight each other and all that. Like each member getting to have a different type of bond with the rest of the group. Even that is something that we haven't really seen in the Bad Batch. We just assume they're close because they're on the same team and they're part of the same squad. And obviously there's moments of them talking and bantering with each other. And you can tell that they're like close, but I feel like it's a little bit more obvious here because by the end of it we end up with separate connections for each of them. Like when we see Ezra and Zeb like play pushing and shoving each other around, and then we also have like Ezra who like simps over Sabine all the time, and she's like whatever, and they're just kind of cool with it. They're all finding their roles and their connections with each other is just really fun to see.
I don't know. I'm just like surprised, like pleasantly surprised the quality overall of this entire season. So yeah, like I was straight up wrong. I don't know why I thought about it. Literally, I was like, like I mean, I was excited to watch Rebels, but I was like, I have to suffer. Like literally, in my mind, I was like, I have to suffer through a couple episodes.
Suffer. Oof.
Like I can't even tell you which parts I disliked. Like maybe some of the, but I don't even know. Like I would have to go back rewatch and nitpick to figure out parts of it, which is awesome. Like that's a great thing to have with a show.
Yeah, I mean the nitpicks you could go for, like there's a couple times where like the theme or the main, not even like the theme, but just like, well, I guess it would be the theme. Like the theme of the episode is just, they basically just say it out loud. Sometimes there's
Yeah.
times where the dialogue is not really well written. You can tell sometimes when dialogue is just ham-fisting exposition down your throat. Sometimes when they outright just say the theme, and it's like, remember, you gotta trust people. Some of the dialogue can be a little, like that could have been written a little better. But that's like a couple times every few episodes, and it really doesn't even take away that much from, because you still get the same idea.
Yeah, I was gonna like I kind of like you just it's a again marketed for children's show. So if you just go into it saying, okay, I'm gonna have that a couple times, then it's really no problem.
kinda
Then you're
need
just like,
to.
and then once you get over that, like besides that, like I don't know. It's besides that, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think that's a wrap on the season.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, thank you for watching this episode and also the entire season so far. We've got one season down of Star Wars Rebels. Feels like it's been like an uphill battle just to get time to record these, but you know we've finally done it. Yeah, make sure you check out the rest of the playlist if you want to watch our journey from the beginning all the way up to now. And we will be continuing the series. We'll watch season 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll watch all 4. I'm thinking about considering possibly watching all 4 seasons.
We'll feel it out. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought about this season of the finale. 'Cause, you know, we kind of bunched in our season review tacked onto the end of this because, you know, I don't know, we really have enough content to make an entire dedicated video on that. But yeah, we'll keep going. If you liked what you saw here, check out some other stuff. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.
Plocast you later.
In sync again. That was nice.
Can you hear me?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did you guys see that?